Okay, so welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down today's trade that I took on the S&P 500. This is actually my first time trading the S&P 500, and I was actually able to get a really good trade after some backtesting. So I ended up taking the S&P 500 trade today because it actually felt more smoother than the Nasdaq, and this was it right here. So let's just go to the 15 minutes time frame so I actually explain what I saw, what my thought process of this trade was, of this setup was before I took the trade. So as you can see, before New York session open, or at New York session open, on the Nasdaq, we ended up taking out all these previous session highs, and we ended up taking out all-time highs. But if we check on the S&P 500, we only took some few does this previous session lows, previous session highs, and these previous session highs. No, sorry, on the New York session, we ended up taking just the previous session highs. We didn't take out these previous session highs, and we didn't take out these all-time highs. So that is already leaving us with a bearish SMT, since the Nasdaq has already taken out all-time highs. So that's the bearish SMT, and I'm keeping that in mind. So now I'm going to the 1 minute time frame to see what's actually happening on the lower time frames, right? Now, what do we see here? What we see here is the Nasdaq making a higher high, while the S&P 500 creating a higher low, right? So this creating another bearish SMT to the downside. So I have two SMTs telling me that, yo, we are going to push to the downside. Remember also, price just opened at 9:30 and pushed all the way high up here, taking just this previous session highs, which I marked out as my buy side liquidity right there. So right now I am trading this as a Judas swing because price just went all the way high to fetch out this liquidity, and I am expecting to see price start pushing to the downside. So that was what my thought process was for this trade. And as you can see, when we had that SMT, all I needed price to do was just to inverse this fair value gap, which we ended up doing. And as soon as we had that inverse, I took my sell trade right there, my stops just at this high, and then I had a couple take profit levels right there. So this was my first take profit, this was my second take profit. This was literally just draws on liquidity that I expected price to drop it down to. And also because I had a lot of positions, because on the S&P 500, you have to almost double the same risk that you're using on the Nasdaq, because you're on the Nasdaq you can use a 0.1, but on the S&P 500 you have to use like a 0.2 or 0.3 to actually like match up to how much you actually risk on a normal day, right? So this was my first TP, my second TP, my third TP, and then my fourth and final TP, which was my 8:30 open, which I was targeting right there. So that was basically it. Price then ended up dropping down and down and down, but I ended up getting stopped out at break even. Pricing actually hit my third TP while I was in the trade. So why did I end up going aggressive by putting my stop loss to break even at this low right here? This was the reason. It was because right here, as you can see, the S&P 500 has already taken out this lows right here. This draws in liquidity right there. But if we check on the Nasdaq at this time, we hadn't taken out all these lows. So it took out all these lows by 10:31 a.m. By 10:31 a.m. we didn't take out those lows. So that's creating a bullish SMT. But still, I know I'm not supposed to really be focused on that, but I just wanted to really go aggressive on that trading on my stop loss. So I just put my stop loss at this high, this candle. But because of slippage, I ended up getting stopped out. But it is what it is. I was able to still secure a 1-to-6 risk reward. And this was the screen record of the video right there. This is literally me. Yeah, so it's still the demo account though. It's a paper account. I'm just doing this challenge right there, this small account challenge. But yeah, it is what it is. So as you can see here, this is me the time I took this trade, and pushing way down, taking all my take profit levels right there, as you can see. So as you can see right there, I put my stops to break even. So aggressive right there on that trade. Yeah, so as you can see, my stops is at break even. So aggressive right there. I'm just expecting my take profit to get hit, but ended up ended up getting stopped at break even right there. So all this together was about $5 point something. But yo, it is what it is. Even after getting this huge drop, if I had known earlier on, I would have most likely like doubled the risk that I did here. Because on a normal, I'm supposed to be risking about $5. So imagine making $5 when I was supposed to risk $5 here. So yeah, but it is what it is, man. We're able to still catch this trade, and it was a good one though. So yeah, that was basically today's trade. It was a 1 to 6 trade, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.